Look at that. Those don't look the same at all. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the different finishes of different gloss black vinyls. Now, your first question might be, aren't all gloss black vinyls the same? I mean, it's gloss black, but actually no, they're quite different. So in today's video, I'm going to go over those differences and hopefully it helps you make a decision to see which gloss black is best for you. Before we get started, I just want to clarify that I'm only going to be reviewing Avery Dennison and 3M. And the reason for that, well, there's two reasons for it. The first is that these are by far the most popular films, the most popular vinyls at my shop. And the second reason is that I try to focus my content for beginners or people who want to get into vinyl wrap. And these are the most beginner-friendly films that you can try. So there are other options like KPMF Perfect Black. That's a really good film. The black is really nice, but it's a little more difficult to install. So we're gonna stick with these two for the purpose of this demonstration. If you find other gloss blacks that you like, the black is really rich, by all means go for it. But these two are the most beginner friendly in my opinion. Obviously we're gonna be nitpicking here because these are the samples we're gonna use and it's quite apparent that they're all black. But if you're the type of person who's very particular about either your roof wrap or your hood wrap or whatever it's gonna look like, you're very particular about the shade you want it to be, then this video is for you. If you don't really care, then you can just go with a regular gloss black and you'll be happy. So I have two samples from Avery, 1 and 2. I have a sample from 3M, and this is also Avery, but it's satin black. And I'm gonna install that first so we can compare that to the gloss ones. So we're just gonna quickly peel this, pack it there, and then squeegee it down. This is Avery, so it goes down super easy. Okay, so this is basically our starting point. This is our satin film again, and this is just to give us a comparison to how glossy the gloss films really are. First up is Avery Gloss Black. This is just the regular film, nothing special about it. I'm not going to use heat for this install because we're really just comparing the different shades of black and not how to install, but typically you'd heat this up and to avoid glue lines, you'd palm it in. I don't have heat right now, so I'm just gonna lay it in like this. But as you can see, I'm getting tension, and if I kept doing this, I'm gonna get glue lines. So I'll pick it up a little bit just so it doesn't pop out, but you really wanna do it in one shot instead of continuously working the vinyl. Next, we have, again, another Avery. This is Avery Obsidian Black. So let's install this one quickly here. And I don't want to put it on a body line because it'll kind of affect the finish. So why don't we go like this? If you're actually trying to wrap your hood, do not copy my technique here, guys. As you can see, because I started on the flat surface and I'm moving towards this curved area, I'm getting a lot of tension bunching up in the curved area. You want to do those complex areas first and then stretch onto the flat surface. But because this is just a demonstration, I'm just going to cut this area off anyway, so it doesn't really matter. The last one on the list is 3M's High Gloss Black. And you'll see this stuff here. This is because it has a layer on top to protect the film. This is not actually the finish of the black. So you'll see that once it's installed and we remove it. So you can see that that layer on top, protective layer, doesn't like stretching. So as soon as I push it into this recess, the protective layer starts pulling off from the vinyl, which just shows you can't really install it with it on. So now that it's installed, we can grab that protective layer and look. As I mentioned earlier, we're clearly nitpicking because from this angle, it all looks black, right? You can just tell that this is black vinyl, but in direct light at certain angles, you can see a difference. First up is the comparison to satin black. This is the satin black up here. As you can see, it just has a little bit of a sheen. It's not glossy, it's not shiny. These are the gloss blacks here. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So let's look at the differences. I'm really gonna try to not let the camera get overexposed. So I think if I leave my finger here, it helps. This is Avery Dennison regular gloss black. It looks black, there's no issues. But next to this one, you can see This one has a bit of an orangey brown tint to it. That's the main complaint about Avery Dennison's regular gloss black. This is Avery Dennison's obsidian black. And when we compare it to the satin black, look up here. So the gloss black looks a lot closer to the satin than the obsidian black does. This black looks much darker to me. At least to me it does. When you look here, when you compare it, if we look at that overlap, see if I can get a good angle, obsidian black looks much darker, much richer, a deeper black, however you want to describe it, compared to the regular gloss black. This, I can see that orangey brown look. If we move to the other side, you'll see we have 3M high gloss on the right and obsidian black on the left. Now the high gloss clearly has a better finish in the film. Just look at those two lights. We're gonna focus on this light right here. See how it's nice and defined, and once I move it across, you'll see what happens to it. So there, we see the light on the right side. We move it over here, and then look how much bigger it gets. We move it back, it gets much more focused. Back and forth. So the high gloss definitely works in that sense. But backing up and looking here, to me, the obsidian black looks much darker than this. This has a greenish, bluish hue to it. And if we zoom out to compare all three, I think it's quite obvious that the middle, the obsidian black, is the best option. In my opinion, if you're just looking for the best black, like the darkest black you can find, I would for sure go with obsidian black. But there are some other factors that'll influence which one you want to buy. For example, let's say you want the shiniest, the glossiest film that you can buy. If that's the case, I would go with the 2080, 3M 2080 high gloss black. It'll give you the cleanest finish. We saw it has much less texture, much less orange peel. It looks really good, but it comes with some negatives. What are those negatives? Well, first off is that it's harder to install. It has a tackier adhesive, I find at least it does. So the initial tack is stronger, which will increase the difficulty of the install. Not a big deal, but just something to know. The main thing though, that I think you should know if you want the 2080 high gloss, is that it's much more expensive. The Avery Dennison is about $42, $43 per yard, whereas the 3M is like $75. Like that's a significant difference. Yes, the gloss is better, no doubt about that. But I find the black is not as rich as the Avery Dennison one. Ultimately, it just comes down to your personal preference and what your priorities are. If you prioritize cost or finish or the depth, the richness of the black, those are all things I need to consider. But at the end of the day, if you're someone who's not really that picky and you just want a gloss black film, you'll be happy with all of them. That's it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.